Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to groom at home your very floofy dog. Mochi is an Australian Shepherd Border Collie, half-half. And yeah, he's never been to the groomer, probably never will, because this routine really works for us, doesn't get matted, and he looks really, really nice. So this is our little home routine. So first, stand. My first step, by the way, is going to be when you're brushing their butt area, to keep one hand under their tummy so that they don't sit down, because they are tempted to do that. And the first brush I'm using is one of the slicker brushes, I think they're called, just to first detangle him. And all the fur that I get from brushing him, I'm gonna keep, and I'll explain why at the end, and also in a separate video with more details. The area with where the tail starts is where it usually gets the most tangled, probably because he's always wagging his tail. But yeah, that's where you have to go in, and also under the tail. It's very sensitive for dogs. It's not comfortable to brush there, but you do really need to brush there because it gets pretty matted easily. And what I like to do is separate the hair and brush it one layer at a time. That way you're making sure there really is no huge mats down there. It's okay, Angel. Sit. When you're brushing their front, it's okay if they sit, and they usually prefer to sit anyway. Another area that gets matted quite easily for Aussies and Border Collies is behind their ears. So you want to gently brush. And I also brush Mocho every 2 days, but we do this grooming routine I'm gonna go through today only once every few, probably months, maybe weeks, because we are gonna cut some hair, which is not necessary to do often. And also the tail, you want to be sure not to tug on their fur because that would hurt. So you want to go really gently and place your hand kind of at the root of the fur that you're brushing, so that you're not pulling directly on their hair follicles. Again, saving this floof for later. Next, you go in, or I go in with a dematting rake. And this is good for getting really deep into their double coat. He doesn't love it, but he doesn't hate it. And this really gets a lot of floof. I'm gonna have to vacuum. You could see the floof flying around as we brush him with the rake. It's crazy. Oops. Oh my God. Good boy. This is what happens when you have a floofy dog, but all the fur is needed, and I'll explain why. So now, when it comes to cutting his fur and trimming it, I don't do much of it, only where it's necessary to prevent anything bad from happening to Moch, in terms of snowballs on his arms, which will hurt him. That's why we trim his arms a little bit. And then under his butt is where I trim the most, because that's where he gets matted the most easily. And it's just easier to make it more short. So first we'll do the arms though, and the tummy also, again to prevent snowballs from attaching onto him, so he won't get frostbite. So what I do with the arms is just take these slanted scissors, slant them away from him, and just trim a little. Or first I like to go like that, make the first stand, so it's easier to just trim away a little, not too much. And the other side, ruffle it up a little. I'm sure the groomer could make it look nicer, but this does the job. And then his back paw, especially towards the bottom, I just cut a little bit off so he doesn't get snowballs on his paws. Then his tummy, I don't need to cut a lot today because I recently trimmed it, but I just make sure it's nice and trimmed so he doesn't get like a bunch of dirt stuck to it. And then you just take thinning scissors and just thin it out so it's not such a blunt edge. You're a very good boy. Here's a treat, baby. And then finally for, more scissor cutting, I also like to trim his tail just a little so it's not so long because it does easily get matted. And for that, I just hold it out and cut a little bit off. And then to not make the line so harsh, you can use your thinning scissors to thin the line out a little. Okay, and then finally for the cutting part is the under the tail. For that, after I brush, I like to use this electric thing just to trim the butt curtain part. So let me show you. So here under his tail, it's very messy. So I like to move his tail over and hold it over here. And then first I'm gonna cut here, this part, so there's like a little triangle. And then I'm just gonna clip it a little bit to make it a little bit shorter. First, is the little curtain. Okay, that's good enough for me. And then I'm just gonna take the electric one and brush downwards. And I'm not directly putting the thing on his skin because it's very sensitive, so I'm keeping it very light. And there's a 3mm clip guard. Then finally I'm just going to take a comb because again this area is very sensitive and comb through. Now that his fur is done, before we put on his final conditioner, we're just gonna do his nails. And you sit. Good boy. So for the nails, I use a Dremel. This is super easy actually. You just have to desensitize your dog to the sound and the feeling for a few times, but once they're fine, they're fine. It's just this little Dremel thing which rotates and gently wears down your dog's nails, or like grinds them down. So it's way better than a nail clipper because you don't accidentally hit their quick, especially if they have white claws. Can you sit properly so I could take one of your paws? Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, just gently grind it down. Mochi's nails are really well maintained, so he only needs to get like a super light trim every few days, but just hold it against their nail, grinds down until you get close to their quick, and then you stop. Again, I just did his nails the other day, so we don't have to do that today. So finally, Mochi's all well maintained. I'm gonna do one quick final comb, and then we're gonna condition him and he's done. So, wait, Mo. Just a quick comb, okay? So now that he's all beautiful, I'm just gonna put some spray in leave-in conditioner, especially near his tail, again where it gets the most matted. Move it in, and he's all good to go. So pretty you are. So pretty. And finally, all the floof that we collected, we're gonna donate to this organization that collects floof, fur, and hair to create little carpets that suck up oil in the ocean. But I'll make a separate video on that. And you cannot donate things with little debris in them, so I'll only donate the clean floof. A little hat for my Joe. Oops. You're so cute. You're so cute.